As you and I are speaking the word of God, there is spiritual battles that are happening. There are things that are going as we're declaring with our whole heart, our whole being, the praise of God. Powerful things are happening. Praise is a weapon. Because as we all understand, life's not just a physical fight. Ephesians chapter 6 tells us our struggle's not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world. There's a demonic world that's very real. There's a battle that is happening. They need to be defeated, and you won't defeat them with physical weapons. Take spiritual weapons. If we're going to fight a spiritual battle, we've got to have spiritual weapons. Listen, it's not just your neighbor, it's not just your boss, it's not just that you have a virus, it's not just this or that, it's that there's a battle that's happening. And we need spiritual weapons to fight that. I don't want what just I can do. I want what only God can do, and I want it as often as I can in as many ways as I can get it. 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 3 says, "For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does." It's not just who you know. It's not how much money's in your bank account. It's not all of those things. It's not how smart you are. It's not how hard you can work. All those things may have their place under the hand of God and His blessing, but watch this. The weapons we fight with are not weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. Paul pictures part of the spiritual warfare as demolishing demonic strongholds or fortresses in our life. In the 100 Years' War, England invaded France, and they set up in northern France a series of fortresses and strongholds. Those strongholds were so well built, so well fortified, that it took the French 100 years to drive the English out of northern France. It gave them permanency. Imagine a century. Here's what the devil wants to do. He watches, he studies, he observes, and his plan for dominating people and ultimately defeating people is he wants to build strongholds. And where do strongholds start? They start in the heart, they start in the mind, they start internally, in the invisible realm. He watches you, he baits you, he tempts you. You have to be careful where you let your mind go. You have to be careful what you set your affections on. Because whatever you desire, if you desire it, what happens is that desire, Jesus said in the parable of the seed and the soil, he said that desire can choke. When you have a desire for other things, it can choke out spiritual life. Let me tell you how that works. Anything you and I desire, we empower in our life.